Generation X came after the baby boomers and before the millennials. This generation has had its fair share of economic challenges, from recession to technology boom and bust and the global financial crisis. Many Generation Xers form part of the so-called sandwich generation, a demographic group torn between the twin pressures of caring for elderly parents and adult children.
We're finding we are becoming parents of our parents while still being parents of our children at school, whilst almost being in between parents for our eldest who's left university. So she's come back to live at home with us, and you know, we are squeezed on all fronts, aren't we? Because we're
all things to all people,
parenting
all the time.
Yeah. We're not the only ones in that boat by any means. I mean, it's interesting that sometimes...
Well, I would say it always comes up as a topic of conversation. Somebody will have the next chapter in their story to relate. But I do notice that the emphasis is a lot more now on the extra duties that are being taken on by our generation that none of us had anticipated.
That's the thing.
And actually, we're all a bit grumpy about it, if I was to be honest.
Generation Xers grew up in an era of emerging technology and global political events. From the Vietnam War to the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the Cold War. Generation X's attitudes on political and social issues often fit between those of the more conservative baby boomers and the more liberal millennials. Bookended by these two larger generations, it's often described as the neglected middle child, an overlooked generation squeezed out of the frame.
It's fair to say that our world bears no resemblance, I think, to the world of my parents.
You feel a bit like you're a bit of a pioneer because you're just ploughing on thinking, well, I don't really quite know what I'm doing, but I'm aware that it's new and a little bit scary. And I'm quite annoyed that there's not enough acknowledgement of this situation, you know, universally around. People aren't talking about this more. We're hearing a lot about the ageing of our population. We're hearing a lot about boomerang generation all coming back to live with their parents. You know, what about us?
Yeah.
What about us? We are those people who are managing all that.
This is a squeezed generation, time poor and pressurised. The cost of long-term care, large mortgages, university fees and job security are just some of the worries faced by this generation.
There's never any spare cash, so it's all committed. There's just not enough to go around. So therefore, to us, the concern, if you like, is those kind of surprise events, like a sudden...
the car breaking down, a leaky window.
A school trip that's, you know, suddenly we've got to pay for.
Pops up from nowhere.
That's a concern.
It is a constant balancing act, and you don't want to drop one of those balls and suddenly find yourself in a pickle.
And you do have to make choices, you know, because we are dealing with everything day to day.
But it's
we make choices.
I do it quite well, but I'm very fed up of doing it.
Yeah.
If I was to be honest.
Actually, yeah.
I'd like to not have to worry about that kind of aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
And also we do rely on the fact that we need to sell our house to realise enough cash to live on.
Now you're going to keep me awake at night. Yeah, the house has become our future in that respect. If we, you know, our financial security is entirely wrapped up in, you know, 1920s bricks and mortar. So, if we wanted to have
if we're going to have a real panic, then that would keep me awake at night. About
crash.
Missing the boat. It's about missing the boat to cash in on that. A fantastic benefit that we're living in.
While they should be thinking about retirement, many argue that they just don't have time.
It's not a subject that I would sort of rush to, because retirement seems like a kind of distant nirvana of, you know, probably something that I might never reach, you know. So I don't think about it probably as much as I should.
I'm enjoying the vision enormously. The whole prospect I find quite exciting. I'm not frightened by retirement or daunted by it. No, I'm looking forward to it. Holidays, high-end sort of skiing, luxury holidays, I'm not interested in that, no.
I am.
Yes, well, you want a boat, but
yeah.
If we have a boat, we can't have a house.
No.
And I'm not living on a boat.
Got to prioritise.
Absolutely Okay.
Understand.
But you know, UK holidays, marching around, fresh air, maybe a dog. Quite like a dog.
Yeah.
Is that
We have a vision
is
of
that
comfortable
a luxury
retirement.
item? I don't know.
I think it's fair to say, we are thinking about how we make that vision happen. And it's,
No, we
you know,
are.
There's no definite, clear route to that.
You can't really blame Generation X for not having retirement front of mind. With many facing the challenge of caring for themselves and the generations above and below them. But the wheel keeps turning, and very soon, this generation must stop thinking about everyone else's future and prepare for their own.